بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Shoot horizontal. It goes without saying that cinematographers shoot movies horizontally. So if we are aiming to take cinematic photos, we should also do the same. Use the grid on your screen to make sure the elements in your photo fit into the frame of a wider aspect ratio. Control your composition. Notice how cinematographers control their frame to a cave balance. Some of the most beautiful senses in films are the simplest. They simply have well thought out composition. Use these same principles to add depth of your photo. Then start coming up with a plan of how you will do this. Will you focus on street photography, controlled portraits, or will you take a bit of inspiration from films like Numbed and seek out rolling landscapes? Lighting in films is very well thought out and controlled. There are teams of people who work behind the scenes to control every aspect. But it doesn't always have to be that complicated. You can create effective lighting without the Hollywood set. You just have to put a bit of thought into it. Use those same lighting techniques to help create cinematic feeling in your images. Light is important because it helps create a mood. For instance, soft lighting can make a scene look dreamy and early. Hard lighting with harsh contrast creates a bit of drama in the photo. It's critical to think about your motive and what your lighting will add to your cinematic portraits. For a smooth look, use soft lighting that comes from large source on the cloud day, cloud diffuser to light and give us soft light. Or you can try shooting with natural window light when the sun is not streaming directly into a room. You may also want to try working with a soft box. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, my friends. Today, Thursday, I'm doing right now triple cam with Canon R and Canon 85mm, Canon 80D with Tamron 18-200mm, plus Sony a7 II with Sony Zeiss 24-70mm. Fotógrafo, Joe Studio, Manhattan, New York City. Welcome to my studio. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Photography is not the only way to capture the world, but it certainly is one of the most effective. Look no further than the nearest social media feed, news station, magazine, article, or book cover to see it. Photographs have power. If you want to harness that power and learn how to take the best possible photos, welcome to Photography Basics, the beginner's guide. This comprehensive tutorial explains the fundamental concepts you should know about photography from start to finish. Why we wrote Photography Basics? Where would you go if you wanted to learn the most important basics of photography starting from scratch? Today, many people like learning about photography online, which is a great way to search through large amount of information, but as good as the internet is for answering questions, it's not always geared towards studying a large topic from start to finish. After operating photography life for more than a decade, we decided it was time to fill this gap for beginner photographers. As we see it, people should be able to start learning photography with a little to no prior knowledge. Dig down for a bit and emerge with a solid understanding of the most important concepts. So, Photography Basic, a complete free online guide to photography, was born. Where to begin? Photography Basic is like a book, and it reads from front to back. Each chapter of the guide builds on prior chapters. If you start at the very beginning and work your way through, the information will follow naturally and in the right order. However, if you want to learn something more specific, you are welcome to skip ahead to a later chapter. Here is the overall organization of the guides. Photography Basic Organization, Photography Basics. Introduction. What is photography? Shutter speed, aperture, ISO, composition, metering, camera modes, focusing, flash, camera setting, how to take sharp pictures, photography tips for beginner, photography ideas. What is photography? Photography is the art of capturing light with a camera using via a digital sensor or film to create an image. Let's talk about photography. You can also play around with the contrast in your image. Don't settle for normal contrast setting. Experiments with high contrast to make your image stand out and create a plot statement, or try low contrast look to give your photo a softer, more announced look. Use pattern and textures. The 4 steps I have for taking creative pictures is to use pattern and textures in your image. Pattern and texture can add depth, interest, and visually striking images. Close-up shots of textures will allow you to train your creative eye and see things in your environment that you may not have noticed before. Use then break composition techniques. The first steps I have for taking creative pictures is to use and then break down composition techniques. Before you can break a rule, you must first know it. Experiment with movement. The 6 steps I have for taking creative picture is to experiment with movement. If you aren't similar with the exposure triangle, our creative use of shutter speed is what will allow us to play with movement. Get creative with your focus. The 7th step I have for taking creative picture is to get creative with your focus, similar to experimenting with movement. We can experiment with our focus, but this time we will use different element of your exposure triangle aperture. Thank you very much, my friends. Have a good day. Bye.
In Nutrition Farms, we sell quality items, especially in our deli department. We have a world-renowned chef, Mr. Joe. He has his training from Rome, Italy, born in Egypt, but he got this training the cuisine in Rome. So he's a very, very, very top chef. And he makes a great lunch and dinner in our hot food bar. Please stop by our store and try our food. It is delicious.